I never enter the garden. The others are uneasy with my presence. It shows in their eyes and on their faces, like a book on fire. Eden is not my kind of place. It's too quiet everywhere. Sterilized air clogs my pores. I like to celebrate, get depressed, howl at the moon, and jack off in the ocean. Eden. I don't know. It seems to require a special breathing apparatus just for everyday functions within its boundaries. Constant boundaries. And if you make membership, you are expected to stay. No men, no women, no romance. Just pale angels mooning around in the limp air of some passive androgyny. A very exclusive club. They guard against me. Well, for my membership exam, I submitted an original epic poem. The Wooden Cock of Jesus. And of course, my version didn't quite jibe with theirs. I think I got the crowd going on that one. Frankenstein. She was old. She talked in rapid bursts, like some average, hollowed out, death-horny intellectual. The sun beautiful, crouching in the sky, innocent as beauty is murder. Like a gargoyle, in squat attention she sat in the shadowed doorway with sacks of newspapers and rags. I've seen two wrecks right out here in the street in front of me today, you know. It gets me feeling sad that I keep sticking around. Of course, I have kids who loved me then. A husband. Yes, that too. I don't ever get letters anymore. They don't know I could be dead. I could be alive. It was cold last night. Cold. Cold. It's warm today, though. Sunny. Nice. Hope for summer. Hoping for summer, all right. I'm beautiful inside. I'm real pretty. That night I walked through another section of town and I saw her again, curled among her bags in a strange other world of sleep, removed. I could see the calf of one of her legs. It was covered with sores and half-healed puncture wounds. It was a beautiful, clear night, and the stars were like ice. We have been here. Oh, fuck yes, it is true. We have been here in this madness, this storm of jungle emotions, of laughter with no boundary, vortex hallucinations, reality of yours and mine, secret invisibilities that visit us, black suns of introversion dropping silent in deep dry pools, blooming flashing heart muscle, exploding in bloody light across the night's dark plate. Music, the intelligence of the heart. This is real. This is God real. Well, you all will anyway. Go ahead. Laugh. Laugh. Continue to parade your cosmetics and to polish your masks for your communal circus. P.T. Barnum used to say to you, "There's a sucker born every minute. So keep on sucking and keep the mirrors licked clean." Dog Day. It was a hot August afternoon. I stood on the hot, dry corner of the intersection at 9 years old, feeling as if I had stumbled into some strange canvas. A blinded dog staggered on invisible edges of delirium, coughing teeth into the merciless afternoon traffic. The empty hunger of the rush hour. I stood there with my marbles in my hand, thinking strangely of sacrifice. I had recently been reading tales of Greek mythology. I felt bad. I hurt. I felt very intense, though I wasn't familiar with the term then. I would have moved to help, but I knew that this dog was already near the end of some decision to die, and so I did not move an inch, except for the tears. a small symphony and a wish to hear. I am a zoo, and also a visiting stranger in that zoo, where, among others, many species of ecstasy, hell, paradise, and despair gaze at one another from alarm clock cages. The zookeeper is a new child in a fresh human body that is constantly pumped with napalm of desire, and his name is Old Jeeves, and he gets drunk every morning before dawn. He finishes the bottle with a flourish of limb like a painter's stroke, and flings it empty onto the floor of his familiar forest. And he dances running out onto a meadow of wind-bent grass and leaping life, and then out and rolling down the dunes, racing to the sea's white lip, and he is mad, with the eyes of an experienced infant, lovable, wise, and vulnerable. He touches the unbelievable. He sings as tears paint fingers down his face. He leaps and dumps sand and water into his pockets. He races back up over the dunes, through the meadow, and back into his familiar forest. Thrashing, wildly writhing, he dyes his skin with the morning's wet earth and swallows her cool green fingers. And suddenly, he is naked, without form or tangent. He is dead, and he pushed all of the buttons, and he does not miss his zoo. The child is green. Well, Gronk was a big, mean slab of meat. A clumsy chunk of angry beef. That's what he was. He was always mad and angry that everyone didn't always know what a terrifying fighter he was. He liked to fight and swear and fill his sad lungs with smoke. Now, Gronk was not really bad. He had just started out on the wrong foot. And now he was lost and confused. He was so scared that someone might see how lost and confused that he really was, that he had gradually become lonelier and angrier, until now everyone thought that Gronk was just a mean old roast who had been in the oven way too long. Gronk had spent so much time afraid of becoming everybody's dinner that he had forgotten about bright colors, the sun, the wind, rainstorms, the smell of green trees, of being happy. Gronk had actually forgotten how to be happy. Now, Gronk had not always been a hunk of meat. No, when Gronk was young and fresh in the world, he was more like an ear of corn. Inside he was quiet and golden, and outside he was a cool, soft green. And the sky was endless blue with pink sunsets, and there were roaring winds and thunder and lightning storms that thrilled him with wonder, and he was never afraid. And no one called him Gronk. His name was Greenchild, and everyone loved and cared for him. And time was only a garden of the seasons. And most important of all, Greenchild was happy. And everywhere he looked, there was life. And he was part of all that life. Greenchild loved to learn, and everyone and everything was his teacher. He loved his playful learning so much that he failed to notice that some of the beings who were teaching him had forgotten all about happiness. They were teaching him about things that had nothing to do with happiness at all. And by the time Greenchild noticed this, he had forgotten about happiness too. And all he could remember or feel was that something was missing, that perhaps something had been taken away when he wasn't looking. And this left him confused and lonely. He could not even ask for help because he could not remember what he forgot. And so finally, he became angry and mean, so that no one would take any more away from him. And so, people began to call him Gronk because of the angry noise that he made in his pain. Cap it here. Deepest peace, deepest power. The earth is my awakening event. I am alive. Sounded grunts such as enlightenment, awakening, realization, etc., are broken of the code that would lead me on. Never have I slept nor wakened, but for the play indeed, the all-powerful feeling appearance of constant, inescapable intimacy as I am. All dharmas, truths, point to zero, and after that, everything. Deepest peace, deepest power, alive. No going out, no inside return, and yet also yes to all of this. There is no necessity whatsoever. The obvious is only so. I am that I am is entire. All ways and means are my burning wardrobe. All of the dharmas are stray dogs. There is no compromise here. All of the languages, no longer shadowed to some fundamental meaning. The conditioned elements veer off into their own caged forever, the diseased comfort of their corralled knowledge, the miraculous fiction of who they seem to be. They are not so. No they, no them. You are not alive who would seem to be caged, non-existent, the barest shadow of peripheral vision. I have plunged through my own mirage. The water may never lose its shape. Here, freedom is karma, for there is no necessity whatsoever. Humanity is a trance condition. According to my mother, I was born to a Friday morning, April 24th, 1959, but so-called birth is virtually always taken for granted as something known, concrete, an island, a circumscribed, separated event. Open inquiry undoes this notion, this pre-programmed conclusion. No one is born. As humanity, our known birth conclusions are entirely erroneous. The given interpretation is misguided. In open inquiry, naked attendance, what is called birth is simply wonder come to bloom, and in no need at all of the human stench of specialness. Deepest peace, deepest power. The undoing of belief systems, might be called true birthing, blooming wonder. Though initially, naturally, belief requires recognition for what it is not. And this seems to require a ripening, where courage, integrity, and grace come to gather and then fall away. And the most horrendous dread, fear, may rise here, seemingly so powerful, believable, to obscure and block the way. Deepest peace, deepest power. Deepest peace, deepest power.